Large crowds turned out in anti-racism protests across Britain on Wednesday, a challenge to planned far-right demonstrations after more than a week of violent riots and attacks across the country targeting Muslims and migrants. Hundreds denounced racism at a gathering in Liverpool, chanting slogans and waving banners. And in London, aerial footage showed Walthamstow in the city's northeast flooded with anti-racism protesters, a mix of Muslims, anti-racist and anti-fascist groups, left-wing organizations and locals.
We want to unite. We want to send a clear message that these are our streets. We've worked hard to create unity and we have a community. We're not going to let fascists, we're not going to let racists and the far right march here.
It's time to move on from this. I can't believe it's happening again. I was around in Thatcher years. I can't believe we used to get up in the anti-Nazi marches and here we are again.
Britain has been roiled in violent clashes last week after 3 young girls were killed in a stabbing in the northwest city of Southport. A wave of false messaging online wrongly identified the suspected killer as an Islamist migrant. Ahead of Wednesday, there were reports anti-Muslim protesters would attack a list of immigration centers, migrant support centers, and specialist law firms. Many shops closed early and some boarded up windows. By nightfall on Wednesday, there were no signs that large far-right groups had gathered, except for disturbances in some communities. Authorities say a standing army of around 6,000 police officers were ready to respond to any violence. There's also increased security at mosques across the country. These places of prayer have been pelted with rocks. At least 2 mosques in the north of England were targeted by violent mobs. At Liverpool's Al Rama Mosque, the largest in the city, a handful of worshippers have been sleeping inside at night, and most entrances have been blocked. Abdulwasi Sufyan, a 20-year-old student who helps at the Al Rama, says he hasn't stepped outside his immediate neighborhood out of fears for his safety.
Seeing the events that have just taken place in the city of Liverpool, and not just the city of Liverpool, but in the UK as a whole, it's really scary seeing the people rioting, looting the shops.
Another local, Santosh Thomas, says it's not just Muslims who are afraid.
I'm from India. To be honest, I can't come out and tell to the protesters or the people who are running towards me, hundreds of crowds, that, oh no, I'm not a Muslim, I'm from India, please don't spare me. That's not possible. So everyone is scared.
Migration to Britain was a major factor in the 2016 vote for the UK to leave the European Union, and it was also a key battleground in last month's election. The country's far-right Reform Party won around 4 million votes on calls for tighter border controls. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has labelled the recent unrest far-right thuggery and has warned rioters they would face lengthy jail terms.